everybody. Good morning. My name is Paolo Souza, and I'm about 20 minutes late for this live, interesting interview. I'm talking to Sandra Goodale. She is the Executive Director of the Workforce Development Board in Hawaii County, talking Big Island, everybody. And we're going to be talking about different things like what the jobs are like over there on Hawaii Island, some different resources, how to do this. I'm trying to get this thing going on so we can get a shout out to all of the different resources and things that are available for people who may be looking for some work because there are some things happening in our world that are shifting and changing things like never before. All right, so let me bring on Sandra here and make sure everything is good. And here we are. Sandra, are you there?
Good morning, Paola.
Oh, good morning. Thank you so much for your patience with my poor technology skills. Just a couple of shout out things here. You know, you're on the Big Island and just representing. So excited to have you. I have this shirt on right now from my friend Robert James McPeak. He is from the Big Island as well, and he is doing this kind of clothing. So I got the hookups. I feel like I'm in a Robert James McPeak like outfit. That little painting thing in the back there, the picture is also a Robert James. So
Nice.
I should have this thing sponsored by him. Your Big Island is being fully represented in this live stream right now. How are you? How are you?
I'm good. I'm very good. It's Friday. It's Happy Aloha Friday Day.
I was just going to say that I totally forgot it was Friday in this like hustle and bustle to try and get a live stream going. I've sent you like 10 links to get on this. And the interesting thing is I'm using this thing called Restream.io. They sent me a free account to use and to test it out. And this is the only one that's working. So big shout out to the Restream guys. Props. I should put up like some like affiliate link and see if we can get some like a plate lunch money or something. But that's the only one that's worked. It is Friday morning. I've been up super early. Went to go do a workout with like just too early and had a bunch of coffee. But I'm excited to talk to you, Sandra. Hey, just give us a little bit of background on like who you are, where you're from. Like first, where did you go to school? Where did you go to high school? I got to ask. I that's like the number one question.
I went to high school in Wisconsin, in a
I've
small
heard
town
of
called
Wisconsin.
Baraboo. It's the
Okay.
home of the Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Circus.
All right.
It's
That's big.
near.
That's big.
Everyone I think's heard of that, but not necessarily been to the circus. But I
That's
grew
a
up in the museum was right in my town, and they had the big circus tent, and they had Happy the Clown, and they had
right.
elephants, and they always said, "Hold on to your horses."
Oh, jeez. Wait, I lost. Man, this is the interesting thing for me. I've heard of Wisconsin. I've heard of the circus that you're talking about, and then that little town that you grew up in or you went to high school in. I've never heard of. I was gonna do like my standard. So, do you know my friend's cousin? But I'm probably not gonna make that happen. How
Yeah.
did you get? I'm just curious. We've talked for like a long time now, like over the last year or so, but I've never really figured out or even asked you because we're talking about workforce development and things about like how you got to Hawaii. So you were in Wisconsin. How did you end up in Hawaii Island?
Well, I took a long journey. I left Wisconsin to go to school in Minnesota, and then I left the Midwest to move to Alaska. I worked for Holland America for 2 summers while I was in college, and then I loved Alaska and always wanted to go back. So I moved back in 1990 and actually met my husband. That's my third summer there. And I wanted to stay, and he wasn't doing anything, so he decided to stay with me. 2 years later, we got married. We lived in Alaska for 22 years, and then we were ready for a
Oh,
new adventure. And so we had never been to Hawaii, and there was actually a job. I was looking for jobs like with Hawaiian Telecom because I was currently working in the telecom industry in Alaska before we moved here, and I was looking there, and then there was a job that came up with the County of Hawaii in the Department of Environmental Management, and
jeez.
which is his field. So he said, "Well, what do you think?" And I think it was our 18th wedding anniversary, so we decided to come to Hawaii and check it out. We were going to go just to Oahu because plane tickets were cheap. And when we tried to find lodging, everything was booked. So we ended up spending a week on the Big Island in Kona, and then we traveled all around the island and checked out Hilo because that was where the job was, and then
Right.
we went and spent a week on Maui. And the weather, I hate to say this, Maui is beautiful, but the weather was horrible, horrible. It rained
All right.
sideways. It blew
Did
like
you just say that
yesterday.
right now? Like you look at Hawaii Island. Did you just go there? Did you just did you just talk about Maui like that? All right. So like you think, hopefully on this description of this live, it highlighted Hawaii County, so you'd only have people who are fully in support of Hawaii County for you saying that Maui no ka oi.
No, 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 not just in Maui. I just was, the problem was we had come in October, November,
Yeah.
so we were getting away from the wind and the snow and all of
Right.
that in Alaska. And when we went to Hawaii, it was blowing so hard that the deck chairs on the pool deck were blowing across. But like I said, Maui was beautiful. I think we stayed at the Hyatt in Kaanapali, got to see the penguins. Um, I don't think we played golf that time, but we actually rode the public bus system for $1 and
Okay.
went
Okay.
checked out Lahaina and all of that. And like
Right.
I said, it was beautiful. The whales were in. It's just that I could get the kind of weather I was experiencing in Maui and Alaska. So
Okay.
that's why the Big Island won my heart because I can still get
My
the snow
goodness.
if I want to. If
For
I want
sure.
to, I can go to the beach, or I can
All
find
right.
the other nine climates we have here on the Big
Oh,
Island.
jeez. Yeah. All right. So big shout out to the Big Island, Hawaii Island. My wife's parents moved there shortly after we got married, and I always joke with him. I said, "Pop, did you move like right after I got married so you could get away from?" But that was not the case. He loved us. But he was golfing all the time up there. Lived up in Waikoloa, so that was kind of like our thing. We go there all the time. Go to the Kona side and go golf and. I'm a terrible golfer, so he would not let me go to the super good golf courses, just like the ones that it wouldn't cost a lot if I broke things. And so it's just that. But just for the record, I would if I had to leave Hawaii, which is a very very long shot, right? Yeah, I don't know if you saw that article in Civil Beat this morning. They're talking about reasons why you might want to leave Hawaii now. I'm like, you know, if that's you, then go. But this is like I know this is how are you going to leave this? But Alaska would be the place, and so I'm super interested in at least taking a trip up to that, maybe on a warmer summertime. But so exciting for you to be here now on Hawaii Island. I can't remember the high school that you went to and those kind of things, but we're doing a lot of talk and a lot of research and a lot of work on finding jobs and what the future of jobs looks like in the state here in Hawaii. What is the job situation on the Big Island? I know what the unemployment is on Oahu. I know Molokai, Maui, Lanai was really, really, really bad in terms of unemployment right when that COVID-19 thing hit. Everything got locked down. What is it like now on Hawaii Island? Is it getting better or is it getting about the same or what?
Well, pre-COVID, our unemployment rate was the highest in the state. Unfortunately, the rate's gone up, and we are the second lowest in the state. So we've seen a trend where there was a high drop off of jobs and employment for Hawaii County residents due to the COVID pandemic. People, business were shutting down, and they were trying to furlough them. Then we're getting warn letters that say that they're going to actually permanently lay them off. A lot of them were in the tourism industry, whether it was
Right.
hotel related, hospitality related, like um, restaurants and bars. There's the recreational that took a hit too, because
Yes. Yep. Yep. Yep.
our tourism basically stalled to a halt, and so they're trying to figure out what their next steps are because we got to figure out how many people are going to be coming in. They
Yep.
referred to the. I was reading an article from the University of Hawaii Office of um, Research and Statistics, HERO.
Yep.
They were comparing the COVID pandemic to 9/11 with airfare and tourism dropping off, trying to figure out what what's the next step because people don't want to travel right now. They don't want to expose themselves if they don't have to.
Yeah.
And back in 9/11, when 9/11 happened, people started getting back in their cars and driving cross country. We don't have that luxury of, I mean, we have the largest island, so we have the luxury of driving around the island, but we don't have the luxury of going from one island to the next without airfare. And
Yeah.
so, and then we haven't opened it up our borders yet. It's coming up the 15th of October. They're supposed to have COVID tests where people can fly in, but everyone's going to go through Oahu. I don't know that there's still going to be direct flights to the Big Island.
Okay. There's some stuff going on that I think what you said was, we don't know. There's some things happening here, there's some things happening there. And I've heard, and no offense to anybody who's making all these rules, but I did hear that Hawaii was winning in the number of times we changed the rules for COVID-19 stuff. So, yeah, I know a lot of those guys who are doing that, and shout out to them. They're trying. It's a tough job. That's a brutal job, and I wouldn't want that ball at all in this case, but in this point. So there's some things going on. One of the things that you and I talked about a few months ago was the fact that just because the Hawaii Island, the Big Island, is big, just getting to places to work is so challenging, or to get to resources. And I remember you were talking to me, again, months ago about people. There's like certain things that you could pay for transportation to go to a job resource, for example, but they can only go so far on a taxi because the taxis wouldn't drive them. And the darn Big Island is so big and getting bigger that it's a different set of challenges on your island to help people get jobs and get to work. Are there any jobs that are popping up right now that are like growing in demand? I know that you mentioned that the hospitality visitor industry, hotels, is shrinking and compressing. Is there anything expanding? Anything that's like somebody should be paying attention to?
Well, construction is going well. The occupations with the most new jobs forecasted are janitors and cleaners. If you can figure out why, that would be the COVID-19. Everybody needs to clean up, make sure everything's disinfected, so that we, try and stop COVID in its tracks. We're trying to do that on a daily basis, and our numbers are kind of staying stable, but we're still in double digits. But it's nice that Oahu is below 100. They're still in double digits, but they're on the higher end. We're in the low end. We're between 10 and 15 per day.
Yeah.
But just wear your masks and stay safe. But we're also looking at home health aides. Everybody, we've had some issues with some of our assisted living or acute nursing homes where COVID has invaded that area, and there's been some deaths related to it. So a lot of families are looking at, bringing their loved ones home. So they need home health aides or certified nursing assistants. And the hospital's always looking for nurses. That seems to be a big demand on our island, is nursing. And then, but we also have, the good news for that is at the American Job Center, we have the occupational training program. It's through the Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act. And if people have been laid off or displaced workers, they can qualify for the program if they're eligible to collect unemployment. If they're working under the table, that's a little different, and they need to show proof that they had employment and they were getting paid, and that they could qualify for unemployment in order to participate in the program. But CNA, we have a few eligible training providers that they could go to class and the program could actually pay for.
So the CNA, again, just to clarify, that's a certified nurse assistant, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, cool. I just took a shot in the dark in that one. I've heard that before, and who knows? CNA can mean a lot of things to a lot of different people.
Yes,
so, but you're talking about like cleaning stuff. People working janitorial jobs are opening up. I mean, obviously, people are going to want to be cleaning things because of what's going on with COVID-19. But you're talking healthcare is still a big thing growing, and that's statewide. And maybe if not just statewide, I think it's going to be a big one nationwide, right? Healthcare is growing, construction is growing. Anything else that when you think about the Big Island, Hawaii County, that is, this is, again, you guys are super unique. And I mean, you guys are way over there. Is there anything in particular that you say, hey, this could be something coming up in the future, or people who are looking maybe to make some transitions to a different job that might want to pay attention to?
Definitely, the administration and support of waste management and remediation services. There's a lot going on, especially with disposal of any household waste. Our population's still growing, so that's helping. There's always building going on, so they have to do remediation of those work sites before they can even begin construction. Mm-hmm. So environmental management, environmental health, and environmental science, that's a growth industry for us. Right. And then we have the healthcare and social assistance, which is the social workers. It's the behavioral health, case management. Those types are still growing on our island because we seem to have people who need assistance, and with the program being cut and those types of things, private industries coming up as opposed to state and county options. Right, yeah. And then,
what do you think about I'm sorry. I was thinking about in terms of job training. I know in all the different counties there is the American Job Centers, and you have an American Job Center place office in Hawaii County, correct?
Yes, we have. Right now it's in Hilo. We just got our American Job Center certified, so we're looking for affiliate locations. So that we serve the entire island out of our Hilo office, but what we would like to do is bring the job centers closer to populations in the communities that need them. Such as the west side where Kona is, or the north side where Kemuela or Waimea on the Big Island is. And then we have the south where Ka'u and Pahala and Ocean View are. It's the Big Island is considered to be a high poverty area, so we want to make sure that the people who need our services are eligible to get them, and to make sure that we are outreaching to them. So we're working on different opportunities to try and get the word out that the American Job Center is here to help. It's one number that they need to dial, and then they can talk to many program opportunities. Because we have the Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act, but we also have Wagner-Heiser, who does employment counseling. We have the Senior Training and Employment Program, and we have Rapid Response. And right now, Rapid Response is huge, and people don't know what that is. So I'm going to explain a little bit. But Rapid Response is when businesses are having to downturn their workforce or lay people off. Rapid Response is there to help even before that process begins, because we can help if they need skilled workers, or if they need workers retrained, or if they have a skill set that another business or industry could take. We work with them for placement so that they can they may be able to reduce their workforce without actually closing their doors. And then we also help with but if there's no opportunity for them to turn the corner, then we will help them talk to their employees about what their options are, how to file for unemployment, if they're eligible for training or education programs, and it's designed to assist the employee, not take them and plug them into something they're not interested in, but actually put them in in-demand jobs like healthcare, medical billing and coding. There's certified nursing assistant. There is there's actually a class for Alzheimer's patients, so that they have the whole point of the American Job Center is to put these people into in-demand jobs. So they're getting training and education, and not hoping that there's a job at the end of it, but actually they're getting trained and educated for the positions that are available now, and they'll have a job waiting for them when they finish their training and education.
Okay, now that's a deal, right? Because if I'm not mistaken, Some of that training is, I mean, most of that training is pretty inexpensive.
It's
Like,
actually free to the it's free to the participant. We
so
actually have
inexpensive, super inexpensive.
and we can actually even help businesses, and that's free to them too. Because if they have incumbent workers, workers
Right,
that are working for them, and they have people who they want to promote, but they don't
mhm,
necessarily have quite the skills that they need, we
mhm.
can help pay for them to go into the education or training to get the
Uh,
skills they need. If it's digital literacy, which is computers,
right,
Word, Excel,
right,
if they were a clerk and they need to become an administrator of some sort or a private secretary, we can assist with that. If they want to if the businesses have people that don't necessarily speak English as their first language, but need additional English teaching so that they can speak it well enough to do the business at hand and communicate within that organization, the American Job Center can help with that as well. So we do help the businesses and we also and businesses and employers, and we also
mhm,
help the employees or the people who actually have been have
right,
barriers to employment.
right. Now, so this is the deal. I've heard about this, and I'm kind of shocked that there's so many free resources out there. And it goes back to something I read maybe a week ago. In the UK, they're having some challenges with things like digital literacy, like you talked about, people not being able to have the skills to get the jobs now in like 2020. And they said there's a skills gap, but there's also they said not just a skills gap, but a motivation gap. Like people are either not thinking that they can qualify, or that they're not going to be able to learn how to do things, or it's too hard for them. And so there's that motivation to go and retrain or upskill, or they have bad, memories of what happened to them in school. And I'm not saying that was me, but like, I wasn't a big fan of school. No offense to my school, those college days and all. But there's a motivation gap. How are you guys trying to figure out how to get the word out, or what are you trying to do to get people to come and take advantage of some of these trainings,
Well,
free trainings?
the good news is for those that are collecting unemployment, that qualifies them for the program, but it doesn't take away the fact that they can still collect unemployment. I know that when COVID first hit, the unemployment had a stipend of $600. I believe unemployment's still getting a stipend of $300, and that's for another 12 weeks. And then it's going
Right.
to decline down to 9 weeks. And there's going to be, I think, I'm not sure what the stipend is for the 9 weeks. But the good news is, if you're interested in education training, finding a new career for yourself,
Mhm.
we can put you into the training. You can still collect your unemployment. It's something you can do because they've waived the requirement for job search. I
Mhm.
recommend that you continue to do the job searches just so that when
Yeah.
everybody starts um, weaning off of the unemployment, they
Right.
are everybody's going to be trying to be on the same system, trying to look for the same job. So always be looking because you can always figure out what skills you need to upgrade to. You can figure
Right.
out who you want to work for, um, and figure out what skills you can bring to the table post
Perfect.
COVID or during COVID to the employer because they're always looking.
Excellent.
A lot of employers they're willing to train, but what they're looking for is good attitudes, and
Yeah.
um, and we have workshops that can help with that. We do mock interviewing, we do resume building, we do uh, teaching people how to shake someone's hand, look them in the eye, understand business etiquette and professionalism. Because if you can do that in an interview,
Mhm.
the skills will come. But if you want
Yeah.
to upgrade your skills prior to going to an interview, we can help with that as well. And we have American Job Center partners. So Alike is our partner that takes care of
Mhm.
the Native Hawaiians, the Native Indians, and the Native Alaskans. And also have, like I said, the senior training and employment program. We work with Waipahu Community School for adults, so they do. You can get your high school equivalency or your general education diploma through the American Job Center and through Waipahu Community School for adults. And then they
Gotcha.
also have English as a second language. So if they want to build their communication skills, we can enroll them in that, and the program will pay for it.
Let me
We
go back.
also
Let me go back. You have so much resources and so
sorry.
much things that are out there. No, it's just like an avalanche of free things that are there. And one of the things that I want to highlight was, a little way back when you're talking about, hey, teaching somebody how to shake hands with somebody. And we think that's such an easy thing to know, but it's like that whole first impression. People get an impression of you in that first 3 seconds or something that you walk through the door. So soft skills are becoming more and more important. I'm hearing that everywhere when I speak to people, what kind of skills you want in the workforce now, they're saying, hey, we want people to show up on time, be professional, um, do their work, be able to collaborate, be able to communicate, things like that, that we kind of just take for granted sometimes. But these professional skills, soft skills, are things that you guys actually do training for too. Is that correct?
Right, we do. We do workshops. We do one-on-one counseling. It just depends on what it is they're looking for and what they need.
Right.
Group settings are always good because you get feedback and bounce ideas off of
Yeah.
each other and
Yeah.
go, oh, I didn't think about that, but maybe we can try
Yeah.
this. The other thing is, employers are looking for eagerness to learn.
Yeah.
It's not book schooling. It's not having to sit in a classroom
Thank
and
you.
listen and take notes. Kyle, this is for you.
Thank you.
It's more of, willing to take on more responsibility, looking at the possibilities of what you're interested in, following
Right.
that goal path.
Right.
And that's one of the nice things about the Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act is we can take the participants' interest and put those first and foremost, and then figure out what it is that they can do um, employment wise. You want to be happy in your job, and you want to have growth, and you want to look at long term unsubsidized employment. And some of the stuff that we're working on is on the job training with work experience. The
Right.
Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act also has a youth component, so they work with.
Wait.
Oh, sorry, am I going too
We go
fast?
back to that really, yeah. I'm trying to, you have so much stuff going on and there's huge things and you gotta, let me like pump those brakes just a little bit because you just said stuff that's really interesting to me. You're talking about this,
Okay.
um, well, there's a challenge because I can talk all day. So now I have like a mute button that can, I can watch this. I can like pop into me, pop into you, and I have that kind of control. But let me go back to what you said earlier when you were talking about like finding something that you like to do. Like you can take somebody who's interested in finding a job. And it's not just find like the first job that's available, but maybe find something that fits in with their interests, passions, their skill sets, things that they might want to be in there a long time. This is way different from back in the day where you just say, hey, you want to go work, go get a job. So the fact that you guys are doing this is a huge thing that I had to highlight by putting this little button over here because that's just different. It's not just I want to go get a job, but I want a job that's not going to be done in 2 weeks or 3 weeks. I'm going to be bored, or it's going to be too challenging for me. So you guys offer those kind of resources, and I think that's what I wanted to highlight in all of the things that you guys are doing. That you'll take somebody, help them prep for a job interview, practice the communication skills, do it in a group or do it with somebody else who's a counselor. That's good stuff. And I think you said that kind of stuff is free. Is that correct? Is that still free?
Free.
I can't highlight that enough, and I'm not sure if that's part of my my background here. I don't want to pick an ethnic group, but I am that one. So I'm looking at free resources that are legit resources for people who are looking for jobs, and you guys have tons of them. I think if anything, we would want to highlight if you're looking for a job. Another thing you said too, and I forgot about this, was employers are looking for people who are eager to learn or open to learning. So you don't have to know stuff right now, right? You don't have to like already know stuff. The employers will take a good positive attitude, strong work ethic, and an eagerness to learn. Is that about right?
Yes. Yes. The other thing I wanted to mention was, um, you just mentioned it, and I'm trying to think what it was. Sorry, they
No. Oh,
we we help we help figure out what it is they want to do, and then we put them on the right path, whether it's
mhm,
taking a computer class or whether
mhm,
it's actually going in and being trained on the job. The nice thing is our program, we're working on contracts right now with employers, but that we have on the job training that's coming on board that they can they'll be employed for 6 months. The program
mhm.
will even help the employer out by paying up to 50% of the employee's wage, with the expectation that after 6 months the employee will be brought on full time and then
Right.
no longer subsidized, which is really good.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's just amazing resources out there that I didn't know about until I spoke to you a couple of months ago. Allison Lum on Oahu, Linda, Maui, like all the counties. Hawaii County has one too. Dan is doing that over there. So there's tons of resources for people. Hawaii got hit so strongly because of our vulnerability in the visitor industry, for sure. I mean, when you can't fly here, we're just in trouble. But you have stuff. We have jobs that are out there. I saw that at one point there's 15,000 jobs right now people are looking to fill. I heard in healthcare, one of our hospitals on Oahu even, that there are a couple hundred jobs. That there's still, if people want to work, they can go. Oh, and one more thing that I remember you said that I heard people asking about was, if I'm on unemployment and I go do some of this training, or I go look, get this whatever resources that you guys have, do I lose my unemployment? You mentioned that, but can you go back and just clarify for me if that's, does that affect my unemployment at all?
No, no, and normally prior to the COVID unemployment, you actually had to do job searches, and you could still do training. Right now, you don't have to do any job searches, so it won't cut into any of the training that you apply for. The other thing is, if you are underemployed, um, if your hours got cut and you're collecting part-time unemployment, the other thing is, we can help you upgrade your skills and find more employment, and you'll still be able to collect your unemployment.
See, that is the deal.
So I mean, or if you're working and underemployed, not making necessarily making the wage that makes it livable and sustainable, we
Right.
can help you get more training. You can still continue to work at your job, but we can help you upgrade your skills, so that you can get more money in the end. That's what we're all looking for, is more money in the end. But
I think you
that's
hit it. You hit it right on the head there. There's some people who are saying that if I can get if I can work my job and I can get training for a job that's going to make me a little bit more paper on the side here and not lose that other job and get this training for free, I'm in. I mean, that's where people should be thinking. That's what I want to be thinking, especially if I don't have to go back and do the whole, school thing. It's not going to be, not that I mean, I had great experiences in so many classes, but, me in school, yeah, not so much.
yeah.
Hey, so before we end on this, where should people, or how do we contact you? You guys have a website, or whatever.
We're
I know
still
you guys
working
have
on
all this.
we're still working on a website. The American Job Center's on the County of Hawaii website.
Mhm.
It's under Office of Housing and Community Development, and then it's under
Okay.
Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act. But an easier way to get a hold of us is by calling 808-935-6527. That's 808-935-6527. And then we also have an email address that you can use, and it's A is in American, J is in
Uh-huh.
job, um, EJC, C is in center, and H is in Hawaii. And then it's HACH user, USER, that's all one word, HACH user at hawaiicounty.gov. And that's hawaiicounty.gov.
I am
And
gonna have to get that from you. Like, email all that stuff to me, and I should have asked you for that earlier. And then what I'll do is that I'll put this on the description of the different videos in different places, and people can get that because I was trying to type it out and put it up now, and I'm too late. So I'm late to the party over here. So I'll get all that contact information. And you're talking about calling you and stuff.
Yeah, definitely. And I just want to reach out to everyone out there that if you're between the ages of 14 and 80, we can help you. We do have the youth program, and we also have the adult program, which is low income and barriers to employment. Whether it's no experience, we can help you get experience. If you're underemployed, low income, if you uh, you know, I know we have homeless people out there. Hopefully, they have a phone or some way to see this. But we can help people. We help high school dropouts. We help uh, pregnant and parenting teens. We help any veterans. Veterans are we're here and happy to help them as much as we can. A lot of them are doing really well, so we're happy to hear that. But we can help anybody who's willing to help themselves, and that's what we're looking for. One of the things, the programs are free. There's just qualifications that have to be met in order to take advantage of them. But like I said, if you're already on unemployment, you're already qualified for the dislocated worker program.
Okay.
And then
so we're set. I'm in.
But I'll get you that information, Kaala.
Okay, perfect.
And the rapid response, if you're experiencing anything from statewide, we're working with all the employers. So if they're on multiple islands, we can assist with that. We can always get you in touch with the right person if you're looking for more information. So we don't just help Hawaii County, we help the state.
Perfect. Yeah, and that's all I want to do. I'm gonna try and work so hard to get all these links out to you to try and get us on, to talk about this and get the information out there. I know you guys have a hard to access website, trying to figure that out. You guys are working hard and making that happen. But at least this, if somebody's looking for a job or knows somebody who's looking for a job in Hawaii County, on the Big Island, then there's stuff out there. There's people who are doing things, and I super, super, super appreciate the time that you have spent with us here. I know you have a big couple meetings coming up, and I'm asking you to come and jump on this and figure out your audio settings. But this kind of stuff, I think we need to get the information out to people, and so I'm gonna do it as much as we can. So thank you very much for doing that with us. I appreciate that.
Thanks for having me. It's great to chat with you today.
Yeah, and then I learned where the Barnum and Bailey, is it which circus was it?
Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Circus.
Brothers. That's right, where that comes from, and that's your hometown, and Alaska, all of the things that we learned. So thank you so much for jumping on this. And again, so as we end, if you have any questions, if I don't get the information out to you on the description, you watch this whole thing, you say, hey, where's the contact information, Kaala? Pop something in the comments below. So again, shout out to all our Hawaii Island people. Robert James McPete for my cool shirt, the picture in the background. Restream for being the only way that we can get this thing to work. So thank